constraints put on any woman's life or body at any time. So any abortion prohibition is not acceptable. And you have religious fanatics on the right who believe that you can't allow any abortions at all. So again, this is ideology driving the direction of the country instead of consensus, because most people could reach consensus if they sat down and talked about it.
What's the history of the word Democrat and the word Republican? Does it refer to like democracy and a republic?
Yep, yep. Well, Democrat. You're talking about the parties, right?
Yep.
So let's start with the political systems. The most famous democracy was Greece, of course, and that's
Mm-hmm.
at the standard for democracies that exist today. Even though no one could implement a Greek democracy today, but that's where it came
Hmm.
from. Uh,
Yeah.
Demo and Kratos is organization of the groups of people, because the demos are the tribes in ancient Greece. So I'm not exactly sure where the parties came from uh, when they, as you know, when the Constitution was approved and stuff. The founders were hoping there would be no parties because they saw parties as very dangerous. Um, but so there were the Federalists led by Alexander Hamilton, and then the Jefferson's party was the Democratic Republicans, basically, which is a combination of those two words.
Wow.
And but Jefferson was fighting for states' rights. He believed the states should have as much power as the federal government, and he thought a strong federal government was dangerous. It could
Mm-hmm.
tend to trend to a monarchy.
Which is
But
where we're at.
so Democratic Republicans, I think, to him meant the people's voice in operating a republic. Because remember, the founders did not, there's no mention of the word democracy in any of the founding documents,
Mm-hmm.
because they patterned our government after Rome, because they believed the Roman Republic was the best model to use. So Jefferson's party eventually, when it got to Andrew Jackson, he dropped the Republican part and it became the Democratic. Not sure exactly where the Republican Party name came from. The party was formed in 1854, and Lincoln was involved in it at the time. I don't remember who came up with the name.
Gotcha. Okay. I have another question to you
Yeah.
about morality. Say
Yep,
here, without moral balance, our republic will fall.
right.
Does that refer to religion at all when you talk about moral balance?
Um, well, all of my books, I think the first four books, all have chapters about what I call moral capital. And I didn't invent the word, Jonathan Haidt did, but he defined it in his book and then never mentioned it again. Whereas in my books, I've uh, carried that forward basically and expanded the
Mm-hmm.
concept. And so
Hmm.
moral capital is really the traditions that human beings value: family, local community, meaning your neighbors or coworkers, your religious community, and it doesn't have to be a religion. It can be just a moral community that is more than friendship. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you could be in